Hey, it's Bam here from Multiversus University, and yo, the big day is almost here. So, Multiversus goes live in just a few days, right? We ended up getting the early access thanks to our team member EE, and a big shout outs to Phil, WB Games, and Player First Games, right? So, we got essentially a press build, and so we were able to spend a few days to play it. I wanted to go ahead and give my overall impressions on what essentially is the release version of Multiverse. I'm going to be focusing on gameplay changes, some of the new content, and the current marketing strategy, which is crucial for the game's success. So initial impressions, I booted up the game. I was greeted with a ton of battle pass content and cool rewards. You know, you saw the announcer stuff as well, you know, the skins, and then of course the PvE content, aka the rifts, that by now everyone's essentially seen. And one rift, the initial one that you do, is a tutorial, right? And it features Shaggy and you're following Batman, which I think was pretty sick. But they also add like different little mini games in there, and they add platformer like aspects to it, right? Especially in the tutorial, you're jumping, going through, hitting meat seeks, everything. And that to me is great because a lot of people don't realize when they play fighting games, especially if they're new to the genre, how much of the skill set they've learned from platforming, beat 'em ups, those action games can really readily be applied to fighting games, right? In terms of like whiff punishing, those kind of things are very similar to what you do to a human opponent, right? Albeit there's going to be more and more layers depending on the level of the opponent you're playing. So I think that stuff is dope. Really hats off to them for putting that in the game. Graphics, this game looks really good. I think it looks fantastic, especially in the new engine. Shouts to Dan Eder and the team at Player First Game. Just the overall UX is in a lot better place, especially with perks being more streamlined. Seems like locals more streamlined. There's a lot of good things here that make it feel like a more full package. And the audio side is godlike. Like, I love hearing the crunches, the punches. Top class. I think the sound effects, they really knocked it out of the park, and especially with the new hit stop that they have, that they've really balanced it around so it's more fleshed out. They do a phenomenal job of like balancing that out in the game, so the game just looks phenomenal. It looks a lot better than some of the content that we've seen for these older trailers leading up to this, I'll tell you that much. One thing I would like to see though is the music is okay. I will acknowledge recently though, pretty much every new stage they've put out has had essentially a banger. So I hope that continues on. WB has such an insane catalog, so if there's any usage of that, and heck, even if they can do that, hopefully we can expect just some great music in the future. Then you have the netcode, right? And the netcode is honestly some of the best that I've seen in a fighting game. Like, it's good. It's really good. It feels a lot more like I'm playing right next to someone. There's like no noticeable lag. Gameplay, here's the big one. Gameplay has changed. It's definitely a lot different. So you could see in the kind of the normal movement isn't as fast as it used to be, and I would say even air movement has slowed down a little bit, but it's still, you can still speed up. You can still zoom with your character, right? You can still do the dodge jump and fly across the stage and get to the places that you need to go. You still have your air dashes, right? You can still boost jump to the top and get your opponents there in a quick fashion. So you can still move fast in this game, right? It's not as insane as the light speed as it was in the old beta, but it's still speed, and I think that's something that people were afraid of missing from this game, and I can confidently tell you that you can still move in this game. The ground movement is probably the thing that has been hit the worst. Wave dashing is gone. They also a delay in chaining dodges, so you can't really chain dodges together super quickly, not as quickly as you can before. Albeit you can still utilize it for movement. It's going to be a bit different. You're probably going to leverage more of your dash dancing in the game in tandem with that movement. Also, charge attack dodge canceling is gone. All right, charge attacks just overall are better in this game, and with how KO power is in this game, because KO power is definitely stronger than it was, I would say, in the old beta. but they had to put up that reward and also add on that risk. So now you can't just dodge out of those things for free, nor can you use that as movement. Defensively, you do have a parry mechanic. That was really fun. Great to hit, felt good. Essentially, when you do hit a parry, the opponent also gets kind of sucked into you. So that's something that I had to get used to at first. I thought that would just be stationary, so I tried to move, and sometimes I jumped over my opponent because I was trying to counter them from a parry. But parries are strong. Parries are really strong. If you don't, then of course you burn meter, and that's a big thing because we're about to talk about it in a little bit, but that's a major thing, meter management in this game. So offensively though, you have dash attack. Dash attack was introduced, and that's pretty good. Like dash attack, essentially what you do is you can either do it when you go into a run state, and then you simply press attack. And then also you can do just double tap a direction, like double tap forward, double tap back, and then do an attack. And that also will do a dash attack. So you can do instant dash attacks, right? We saw that in the Wonder Woman trailer where she did her kind of starting combo. So that was a big one. We've seen some characters kind of do the run one as well, but that's something that's going to be really important to utilize as a burst option. Then you also have your dodge cancel grounded normals. So that's going to still be strong. One of the cool thing about dodge cancel grounded normals is normals across the board, I would say, have gotten buffed. Like they're better. There's a lot of them that have more KO power, so you really have to worry about them. And I think this game was definitely, they tried to make it so grounded game can still do something to the aerial game, because this game is definitely more of an aerial game. Ground control is a lot better. Those attacks are a lot better. And also you have IADA, instant air dash aerial. And that's something that allows you to do different approaches with aerials. For those of you who are unaware, instant air dash, that's something that tends to be in a lot of fighters, right? You have IADs that are done in a lot of anime fighters. The interesting thing in this game though, you cannot do a IAD by itself, right? You can't do what people would call an empty IAD. You have to do an aerial in order to do this tech. And so that's something I'm going to talk about more in detail in a mechanics video that we'll make leading up to this game, so people can be right on point with the tech out the gate. We want to make sure you guys are good, so trust me, we got you guys on that side. But anyways, that's something that's going to add a lot of new layers to combos and pressure, right? And then dodge meter, like I talked about before, it's been revamped. So essentially what you have in the new dodge meter is you have a burnout state that's been introduced when you deplete your meter. So if you deplete all your dodge meter, you essentially have this state that you go into where you have to slowly fill up your entire gauge again before you can start using those dodges and get access to parry again. During that time period, your dodges are bad. Like they have more lag, they're slower, and they have no intangibility, no iframes. And when you get stuck without meter, you can just lose. You could be at 20%, and if you're in a unfavorable position and your opponent is aware of that, they could juggle you to death, right? You get new combo strings because they're your quickest move to get out of, like after hit stun, right, would be your dodge, but now your dodge has no intangibility, so that doesn't help you. So now depending on your fastest aerial or your fastest normal, you may be in a situation where it doesn't matter. Your opponent has frame advantage on you because it's on hit, and they can just continue to maul you, and you have to hold that, right? I love that they've introduced a lot of great risk reward. I love that more aerials are with punishable. Obviously ground normals are as well. So you just come into a world where this game allows you to be fast at certain point in times. It also requires through certain ways that it wants you to slow down and be better. Last but not least too, in the gameplay side, they do have a thing now for stop camping where it will drain your dodge meter. So if you are like just away somewhere and you're not actually attacking anyone, you will lose your dodge meter and go into a burnout state. And like if you guys haven't understood from now, like that sucks. Being in a burnout sucks 100% in this game. So it's cool though, because you're gonna have these really cool interactions with people where they need to figure out if maybe they have like 2 bars left, how they want to navigate, how they want to apply their offense, how they want to apply their defense. if they want to use a meterless combo. Do they want to burn their burn their meter here? Are they going to be in a position where they're getting enough hits where they're kind of going to build some of that meter back, right? Do I want to go into burnout here? And then also, because I'm in burnout, I still have access to some new combos that I wouldn't have if I was only doing meterless combos, but they're not going to be as optimal, and I'm not going to have as much frame advantage as I would if I was burning meter, right? So you have all those things are going to tie in together, premium decision making in these nuanced situations. And I love that. I love when platform fighters do that. There's very few that do, and I love when fighting games do that. I mean, you've been seeing that with Street Fighter 6 for those who've been playing. Yeah, so character impressions. Characters do retain their charm and their unique playstyle, so which is really good. Let's talk about the new additions, right? We have Jason, Joker, and Banana Guard, and they feel like they bring a fresh dynamic to the roster. Jason is a boss. He's got his horror sounds and he's got his crazy command grabs. Joker, he's got a ton of his different gadgets, as everyone's seen in his gameplay trailer. And then Banana Guard, Banana Guard is actually kind of strong. Like, the character is it's a joke character, but not really, because he doesn't have insane special moves, but he can charge himself up to be stronger. He has range for days. His moves are pretty quick, and his dash attack is wild because he falls on his face, but it does a ground bounce, so he can he can loop instant dash attacks together into another confirm, right? And he has some hitboxes that are, again, super disjointed and fast. Like, his side air is really, really good. He's like a legitimate character. I actually really like playing him as well. So with season 1 starting off so strong, also looks like we're going to get another fan favorite in Agent Smith. The content pipeline seems pretty robust, and it looks like we saw all the teased characters happening. These are soft confirmations, which means these characters are going to be real deal, right? We're going to get some fun characters. But anyways, let me know your thoughts. Are you guys super excited for Jason, Joker, and Agent Smith? Is there any other character that you guys really want to see? Especially since they say this season 1 is about the villains. Is there any villains you guys want to see? Go ahead and leave a comment for the algorithm, and then also just to let me know, man. I would love to see that. Might do a content piece just kind of going through your guys' general wants and your wishes. Your character wishes would be dope. So that may be a piece. Don't forget to subscribe for more character impressions and a combo primer that will be coming up fairly soon. And last but not least, thank you so much for watching. Class dismissed. I'll see you guys next time.